Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Press Start to Play. I'm your host Ayush, and once again I'm joined by Darren Rodriguez, Manas Joy, and Sushir Rahman.
What's up?
And today in this
सुशीर ने
in
क्या
this
ये
episode, ये कोई नजरों वाला गाना था ना?
मुझे लगा
कचरा रे
What is this? What is this break? Ayush's outro and intro week क्या चल रही है?
मैंने तो कुछ बोला भी नहीं.
Anyways, two things at hand. We're going to be talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage that got announced like around 10 days ago at Ubisoft Forward, along with a bunch of other Assassin's Creed games, right? No, Assassin's Creed Infinity, right? But I think the games that they're releasing, it's all Infinity at that point of time.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Sheer has some notes on this game, right? And we'll take it from there. So
Okay.
Sheer,
Listen, the first thing is that that stream was the first episode after almost 2.5 years that I missed a Game Fiend video. Okay, I'd never missed it, and I was like, I was really beating myself up. I got the iPad from my partner, and I was like, let me watch this. Let me please watch this. And I was watching them, and I was so upset because they were all getting so upset watching that stream, getting drunker by the minute, and like, and I was waiting for Ubisoft to salvage something out of this. First of all, even now, if you ask me today, like how many Assassin's Creed games is Ubisoft releasing, I can't tell you the answer. Like I don't know. I seriously don't know the answer myself. I'm very
Assassin's Creed
confused.
Blue, Red, Sword, Shield,
6.
Fish.
Oh my god! And I was so confused, and I was like wanting to, but
There's one based in Japan, one based in China. So they're pretty close together.
China वाला mobile game है ना, right?
yeah
Is it?
क्या पता, सब मोबाइल
Okay.
गेम है.
China
भाई
mobile
उसमें Heartland भी is also a
Punch.
mobile game.
but also
Division
PC
Heartland, right?
but also PC
Also PC, yeah. Hmm.
Looks like a mobile game.
yeah,
So the funny thing is that
unfortunately,
I feel this is like exactly like what Bethesda did when it was like down in the dust and wanting to sell itself. Like Elder Scrolls 5 के trailer दिखा दिए 15 सेकंड के 20 सेकंड के, even though it's going to come out a decade later.
yeah
Like talking about games which are their IPs in a very CGI format, in a very like laissez-faire kind of a way, is just indicative of the fact that they're wanting to sell. And I feel
Ubisoft original.
yeah. And I feel this is not going to go the right way. Whatever we are seeing, it's not going to go the right way until someone steps in.
too
Tencent
much,
has stepped in a little bit, yeah. Tencent has bought some shares into the Guillemot brothers company, the holding company that is there, but not Ubisoft itself. But I think, Manas, yeah, it's kind of too much. Like,
and also
and
जैसे
very
at a time
कोई
where
detail
just-
नहीं.
and they
पर
kind of
see,
pulled back
Sushil,
नहीं
so I
just like ये
हाँ.
टॉम क्लैंसी की गेम्स वगैरह इतने निकाल which one ये अभी कौन सा एक अनाउंस किया था देन कैंसिल कर देना
Defiant.
अरे वो वाला जो सबको शूट कर रहे थे आपस में वो लोग आपस में.
एक्सटिफाइंड तो आई थिंक अभी भी आ रहा है बट काइंड ऑफ थोड़ा
Okay,
लाइक उसका न्यूज़ ठंडा हो गया बट देयर वाज अ घोस्ट रिकॉन गेम जो अनाउंस किया था उन्होंने फ्रंटलाइंस घोस्ट रिकॉन फ्रंटलाइंस या घोस्ट रिकॉन फ्रंटलाइंस
हाँ हाँ
है ना कुछ अनाउंस
But
किया
that was also like a multiplayer shooter focus, ना? That wasn't a single player.
Battle Royale type
मल्टीप्लेयर
था वो, I
बैटल रॉयल टाइप था
हाँ.
बट देन दे काइंड ऑफ स्क्रैप्ड इट तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि थोड़ा कंट्रोल कर रहे हैं शायद एंड देन आउट ऑफ नोवेयर लाइक वो टोटल 5 सुशीर कितने गेम्स अनाउंस किए कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे लाइक
I am like seriously like I knew this question was coming. I'm seriously blacked out.
इस discussion
putting
में
the
पहले
question to
Sushil said I
Darren.
have notes, ठीक है?
Yeah.
This is like
I am going to tell you the notes.
Proving Sushil doesn't have notes.
I do. But like I just want to say that I'm like apart, like from not even apart. Like वो रैबिट्स वाला गेम छोड़ के मेरे को नहीं लगा कि कोई और गेम में उन लोग कोई मतलब कुछ टेंशन ले रहे हैं. मतलब ऐसे ही बस नाम बोले जा रहे. क्यों बोल रहे हो भाई? क्यों बता रहे हो? अगर इतने साल बाद आने वाला है या सिर्फ तुम्हारे पास सीजीआई है तो क्यों गेम को क्यों दिखा रहे हो? And it's not that a same Assassin's Creed game will come out, 2 games will come out in a year. It will not. So why are you showing that? I was really upset, but Mirage was something which made me feel a little better. So we'll dive that into that a little bit.
That came out of this.
Yeah. Darren, do you have some idea about how many Assassin's Creed games are there?
Mirage.
Okay.
Codename Red, which is Japan.
Okay.
Codename Hex, which is German or whatever. वो Witchcraft wala.
German.
Yeah.
Jade.
Witchcraft.
Yeah. Jade, which is the mobile one set in China.
Okay.
And then there is Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is the VR game. that they didn't announce, but is
Okay.
actually happening
Okay.
as well. That they talked about.
But Assassin's Creed
interview में.
Infinity?
Infinity is Hex
the whole
and
hand.
Red ka mixture. It's that platform,
It's a
unka
platform
launchers.
thing. It's a launcher, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a
अरे
glove.
shit यार, seriously,
इसके ऊपर
there's
नहीं
like a
नहीं
launcher
नहीं,
there now.
not really. I think, but पता नहीं समझ नहीं
It's the
है.
thing that they're going to,
I think उनको
But
भी नहीं
yeah.
पता है. I think they don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, 5. Good brain.
Shit, man.
It's a
That's
good
what I
franchise, so I remember.
पर तो इसमें से Hex is like semi mobile, right? And Jade is completely mobile.
नहीं Hex
नहीं, नहीं.
PC है.
Hex
PC
and
console.
Jade are Jade is mobile. Jade is China, which is mobile.
Yeah.
Japan is an RPG game. They've said full-fledged
Yeah,
RPG,
okay.
like Odyssey वाला type.
Mhm.
Hex का कुछ नहीं बताया what it is.
But it's
if it's an
apparently
RPG,
थोड़ा horror-ish elements वगैरह
हाँ,
होंगे. Witchcraft.
like witchcraft related thoda. And Mirage is meant to be their, throwback Assassin's Creed like
Spin-off.
1 and Unity.
So what's the canon sequel to Valhalla? Hex?
पता नहीं.
Sequel.
I think
Like
Red
the
होगा.
like the main
Main
entry.
line.
So like जैसे
I think it'll be Red.
mainline entry.
I think
Red.
Mirage
It will be
and
Red,
Red
not
दोनों
Hex.
होंगे.
नहीं, Hex भी, they're all mainline games now. They're all Assassin's Creed games, like जो भी games are going to come out are going to be under the Infinity umbrella basically.
अच्छा तो
Which is-
basically like 10-year plan बताया उन लोगों ने कि अगले 10 साल में ये आ रहे हैं ऐसा.
3 year, 4 year
कुछ
plan.
ऐसा,
So
हाँ.
Infinity is
4 year
like
plan,
मान लो like
बेचने तक.
बेचने तक. जैसे Assassin's Creed 4 में you have the modern day section where you're in the office and you're just walking around ये वो, and then you go back to the past. I think Infinity is going to be just the modern day parts where you can access all these different, timelines की अच्छा old school Germany या फिर Japan देख लिया, and then the games themselves you will have to buy like DLC or something, right? कि अच्छा you pay $60 and you unlock this part of
this
the
timeline.
memories. Yeah, this timeline. You pay $60,
$5.
new game coming out, you unlock Hex. मान लो 5 years from now they're like, oh हमें India बनाना है. $60 for a completely AAA game, but you pay $60 inside Infinity and unlocks the timeline वो, and उसके related whatever modern day story might be in Infinity का space. So I think
Darren
it's
का
sort of like
फोन
that.
बज रहा है. Darren,
भाई ये-
Ubisoft कॉल कर रहा है तुमको
हाँ
प्लान के लिए. ऐसा
तुम
मोनेटाइज वाला
topic-
प्लान तो क्या बोल दिया भाई.
but इसमें मुझे लग रहा है the only problem is कि जैसे they're also releasing on other platforms ना, जैसे मुझे लग रहा है Ubisoft launcher के through if everybody is launching Infinite, buying it like that, I get the idea of the timelines being presented to you कि ना अच्छा जैसे Call of Duty खोलो तो उसमें सारे games भी दिख जाएंगे, multiplayer भी है, Warzone भी है, तो maybe I can imagine Infinity being something like that. कि ना it's like a singular launcher जिसके अंदर you'll find all these timelines जैसे Darren ने
But
put
it
किया.
makes sense like DLC, like if you go on PlayStation Store, like you see
Yeah,
the separate DLC, right? You see the DLC का being advertised properly.
But also you can
And-
buy it separately also, मतलब sale discount
Yeah.
वगैरह वैसे तो.
So basically you just buy that thing and it's
Yeah.
to play it you go through Infinity whatever, like launcher whatever it is. You go through Infinity to play it properly.
Okay.
You unlock access. I don't know what the plans are, but
I
I,
mean,
imagine it's this.
ये पूरा आधा अधूरा प्लान सुन के the only thing that I can say, I hope this crashes and burns just like Halo Infinite. Like seriously, मतलब ये Infinite नाम का कोई चीज अभी मतलब.
Did you like? Can we go back? Someone can go back and rewind the tape where Sushir was always positive about Halo Infinite. वैसे मुझे ऐसा लगा हमेशा, है ना? कि हाँ ये तो चलेगा ही, ये तो
This
चलेगा
new
ही.
thing is like, I mean, like Forge mode though. Updates though. Where are they? कौन किसके पास है?
Before we
कौन
go,
छुट्टी
हाँ.
में
आराम से.
हाँ.
Let's keep
Before-
it Ubisoft today. ठीक है? Let's
अच्छा
not
वैसे
get there.
सुशील to start with ना, like I want to know like everything about Mirage क्या पता है, but
Right.
just I just want to
You
point
can
out
pre-order
one
it right now.
yeah, but the interesting thing is
भाई
कि
क्या बात कर, that wasn't even a minute of a trailer,
वही
bro.
तो
And
कुछ
that
भी
was
चल
like
रहा
all.
है, इसीलिए तो मैं तो
फिर भी
पीयर भी
pre-order कर
कितना
दो.
गुस्सा हो गया
Yeah.
था उस टाइम पे. I was like pissed off, मैंने क्या चल रहा
3
अरे
edition है.
लेकिन
थोड़ा clear
interesting
कर देता हूँ.
interesting thing Mirage is for $50 like the standard.
Yes,
It's like cheaper. तो
Right.
kind of makes you ask the question कि is it going to be what we expect? मतलब या चलो anyways go on Sushir. I'll also be right back. Huh?
So
Right.
after all this ranting, let's give some time
Yeah,
to Sushir
And his
to,
notes.
Right. So Assassin's Creed Mirage is supposed to be what people like us, the old school fans, have been clamoring for quite a long time. It's going to be back to basics, the return to roots. This is not going to be an RPG. It's going to be a linear narrative, 15 to 20 hour storyline kind of a thing, and it's going to star our very own Basim Ibn Ashaq, right? He was there in Valhalla, and I mean, Valhalla का spoilers अभी भी spoilers है क्या? I mean, can I say stuff?
क्या है? ऐसा
Like
Who
कुछ?
Basim is?
Who Basim
That was
is,
the
right?
spoiler. And what happens at the end of Valhalla?
And what happens at the end, right? But let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Let's go back to where this game starts. So from the kind of PR that we have come to gather, it's that this game is going to be set in Baghdad, and it is going to have Baghdad. Only one city. It's going to have 4 districts. It's going to be set in the year 861. So why that year is important? It's you need to know 2 things. First of all, Assassin's Creed 1 Altair was during 1191. That's the Third Crusade, right? So this is said before that. So 861, this is happening. The anarchy at Samara. That was the time. So people who read history will know that Samara. Yeah. So the caliphate within 12. What is that? Within how many years? Hold on. Within like a set of like 10, 12 years, 4 caliphs ascended to power over there. It was like one of the most biggest eras of turmoil during that time. It's named anarchy at Samara. Like it was such a bad situation. Third caliph, Abbasid Caliphate was happening. Uske baad ye chalu hua. 4 caliphs, right, one after another, and nobody could hold the power. And this was a time when constantly, assassinations and all these political intrigue and all those stuff were happening. So this is going to be an interesting period to get back into. The
For
point
the
where
people who don't know what a caliph is, explain.
Okay. So caliph is like in the after Islam became one of the major religions out there in the Arabian Peninsula, and after Muhammad, what happened is that there used to be one political leader and religious leader. So that was supposed to be the caliph, like both, like not a pope and a king, but one person, a caliph, and that idea very soon disintegrated into like politics and quite a bit of problems. So right after this Abbasid thing, there was a lot of turmoil, lot of problems, and it kept changing hands. The power kept changing hands, and nobody could have control over that area. So one of the most interesting things is that we will start quite early. So just like Ezio, we're going to start off with like a 17-year-old Basim, and he's like a street thief. And he's like struggling with nightmarish visions, which he has from time to time. And he's trying to eke out a life in the streets of Baghdad. So there's a little bit of, Aladdin vibes to that as well. Yeah. So then he will meet, according to the trailer, which is again heavily influenced by the main
trailers.
Assassin's Creed trailers. Yeah. He's going to meet Roshan, who is Basim's mentor. She's voiced by the Emmy winning actress Shohra Agdashlu. She has a very unique voice.
Heavy voice, thoda sa aisa type ka.
Very smoky, heavy voice.
Yeah,
I really loved her in the series Expanse. Yeah, so she's a 50-year-old Persian ex-slave, and she's like the leader of the Hidden Ones, which is like a precursor of before Altair came in. And so the place where what is that called? Remember the tower, the Hidden Ones in the first part where Altair used to go back to? That place is still being built.
Yeah.
So that place is still being built, and you can go back to that. But also, like now, Baghdad will be like continuously. There'll be lots of stuff, like just like Assassin's Creed Unity, the kind of parkour that was there in Assassin's Creed Unity. They're trying to go back to that. So you'll be able to like interfere with the scaffolding. You'll be able to set traps. You'll be able to use mines and blow darts, right? Throwing knives and stuff, and that stun and kill enemies. So most of here, it's going to happen that you cannot overpower. Like if there are multiple enemies, you can't overpower them. You have to run. So stealth options are going to make a big comeback into all of this. Like last 2-3 game mein, we thought that stealth was a little on the lower side. This is not going to be that.
Stealth was broken.
One other thing is that you could follow people on the road and stuff like that. Now there are going to be markers, which is going to make it more interesting and help you see who you have to follow, how you have to follow. You can even slow down time. Yeah, escort missions. I'm going to make a comeback. Slow down time to mark several targets at once for an assassination, just like Hitman.
Just like Dead Eye.
And there will be some quests which you can complete in any order, but most of them aren't optional. So this is going to be a very linear thing that we are looking at. I think this is a good way for Ubisoft to experiment with the formula and see where to take it next. What do you guys think?
So first of all, like when Sushi talked about the Caliphate, all my history nerd stuff started coming up, but I don't want to bore you guys with that. Okay? I'm not going to go into this. Okay? So after saying that, but I think like I think it's a step in the right direction. The only way this diversification of Assassin's Creed franchise is good is that you will get to try different genres under that franchisee name. So now, at least with this diversification of creating 5 to 6 games of under that name, at least you're getting one which is classical Assassin's Creed in the modern sense, you know. So उस case में I think I'm little excited to see. थोड़ा सा spin off type का feel है इसमें because they're taking a character which is basically you know a side character sort of established in another game and now is coming he's getting his own game, but it's fine. I think like thoda sa I'm ready to explore the city of Baghdad in a very Assassin's Creed direction. So more or less I'm excited, and I knew less about that game than Sushi did with his notes, right? I was still excited because just the fact that the classic Assassin's Creed 2 experience is coming back. You know, Ezio is like my all-time favorite video game characters of all time, right? So I plan to, you know, rekindle that memory when the new game comes out.
Right, and this is going to be like one of the last Assassin's Creed games, which is going to be $50. After that, all games are going to be $70 plus. So, two more things. You get to see right at the end of the trailer, you get to see him placing a feather. Like the whole place gets dark. It's a classic callback to Assassin's Creed 1. And also, one and Ezio, you know, it goes dark and he has like a conversation with the man who's dying. Just like, you know, he had Assassin's Creed 1 Altair had with Hunt for the Nine. The 9 characters that he had to hunt down, and you know he places a feather and he says, you know, those stuff starting
says,
from
you suck, I killed you. But about that, I have some lore about that I learned today. Okay. So what do you guys think? Just a quick quiz. What do you guys think is happening when that whole cutscene plays out? When you know it's the assassination has happened and you're in that virtual type thing,
right.
The protagonist is talking to the person he just killed. Do you think that's happening in real time? Ya kya ho raha hai wahan pe?
No, I don't think it's happening in real time at all. I think it's like you know, like once you have completed your quest, like the Animus is trying to, you know, the task of the Animus is complete. It's trying to put you into another memory. So that is the time that you get where you feel you're talking with yourself. It's not often the person who is killed is replying to you. What do you know about this, Darren? Tell me.
Anybody else with any guesses?
मुझे लगता है I think it was all Animus, like a memory, like वो out of body experience like करते हैं. Like you get the conversation, but because जैसे हमारी memory होती है ना physical के, some memories are very strong, so you forget the background around it, but you still remember that memory. So like that conversation, उस तरीके का that is what Animus was representing, according to me.
So according to one of the guys who's worked on Assassin's Creed ka writing, Darby McDevitt, I think he's worked on Unity, he's worked on Origins, Valhalla. He left and then he came back, and he's working on the lore of the next games as well. Black Flag also he did. He said that those conversations are happening in the heads of the character. So it's not happening in real time. It's not the Animus, but it's what the characters like Ezio or Altair are thinking in their head.
Absolutely.
You know, because a lot of them have emotions attached or something attached to it, ki unsaid or something. So that is what they're thinking in their head, which gets essentially stored and then is played back to whoever is visiting those memories. He also talked a lot about sages, because Assassin's Creed 4 may introduce sages.
Right.
And it's carried on even now. And we will continue to with Mirage. Won't spoil Valhalla because we haven't talked about it. But with Eivor ka DLC, you can see Eivor talking to another character, Odin. So that whole, in that thread of sages, he mentioned this thing, ki assassins, when that happens, this is how it happens. So that is the thing I learned today. Aji he tweeted it out.
Nice, man. That's like a good thing.
Someone should put that tweet as a comment in the video.
I'll put that pura thread.
And I just think that getting back to these basics is a really good way for Ubisoft to first of all get a few of those people who have left Assassin's Creed because the whole RPG elements that have been put in, and I think having two games equally, like an RPG and a non-RPG, I think might make sense for the future.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, I think
Manas.
certain just before Manas, certain places, like certain times benefit with certain gameplay. Like Baghdad being an open world RPG feels like you might not have a lot to do in it because it's again 16 or 61, one of those numbers, right?
861. Yeah.
861.
Even.
Yeah, and what do you think? What could you do? Board games, play maybe side activities and all that. You'll have to come with a lot of bullshit to fit into the game. Whereas you think of Red, which is the Japan game, which is meant to be an RPG. You can just think of things as a ninja in feudal Japan or wherever. The amount of things that you could probably do in that area,
Right.
the way you could approach situations and all that. So I think it also helps make those experiences feel more authentic, where
Yeah.
it feels
But I have-
this would be an RPG better.
But I know we're talking about like Assassin's Creed Mirage, but what are the chances कि Red में it will have something to do with Nobunaga? Like I've not seen a game from Japan come out, but does not have anything to do with Lord Nobunaga in the entire game.
Very likely. We don't have a time na कि कब it's set.
वही feudal Japan Nobunaga is like the same.
Just one last interesting tidbit before Manas chimes in regarding that. There's a training. There's like a little bit of a training montage sequence for a few seconds in Alamut, like the place where the fortress is, and it reminded me a lot of like Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows, wo wala scene, when he's like they're teaching him and stuff like that, and he's learning to fight in the shadows and stuff. So I really like the small nods to the whole trailer, but please don't put a pre-order thing before you show gameplay.
Although.
Please don't do that. Manas, go ahead.
I think I really enjoyed the पुराने वाले Assassin's Creed games, na 1, 2, 3, Revelations. I think story wise one of my favorites. Black Flag फाड़ू था, and बीच में there was some real मतलब low points, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर I enjoyed Origins forward. Odyssey इतना मजा नहीं है. Origins I loved it. Valhalla I really loved it. तो इसलिए I'm okay with the RPG side of things, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है the stories that they're telling, especially in Valhalla, they're like very interesting and मजा आ रहा है. So I don't know कि like going back, क्योंकि imagine going back to Assassin's Creed 1 as it is right today, like it's not a great gameplay experience at all, and already Assassin's Creed में नए में भी gameplay experience अच्छा नहीं है. So they really need to. I think Unity had like one of the best gameplay Assassin's Creed में ना. They really tried a lot of things with the combat, the parkour. हम लोग कह रहे हैं कि Unity वाला parkour शायद इसमें आएगा Mirage में, which is great news. Yeah, like really needed. लेकिन I hope कि
parkour के साथ bugs भी आएंगे कि नहीं ये नहीं पता अभी.
यार I really hope not.
Sure.
Yeah.
Only Eagles, guys. Only Eagles.
A lot of the movement stuff that they showed in the trailer is there in Unity already.
Yeah.
So,
तो इसीलिए मतलब I really hope कि वो gameplay में काफी stealth वगैरह में काफी improvements हो. Otherwise like everybody is like a good वो अच्छे memories है, but I think going back to them practically today like without the gameplay changes, especially stealth वगैरह में like just more options पहले को boring सिर्फ ना like hiding behind a wall या bush वगैरह वो नहीं, like just
sitting on a bench.
Yeah, like उससे ज़्यादा मतलब थोड़े options तो deeper वो. But my biggest concern really comes from the price point कि like कोई company करता है कि like I mean Assassin's Creed 1 to like all of them were $60 games, so like nobody does that to a product that they're like short कि नहीं फाड़ू, like हम कुछ फाड़ू बना रहे हैं, like nobody reduces the price. इससे Uncharted जैसे games like Last of Us, like linear single player games are $60, तो like तो just a concern, or they really think that this can be a big hit with the right price and hey more and maximum people buy it and play it and they want it to be hit. That could also be the price was a little concerning.
Can I put my tinfoil hat on? Tinfoil hat time, right? So Sushil mentioned that this game is meant to be a linear game with about 15 to 20 hours of gameplay, right? So what if going into the future, the RPG games are priced a bit higher, while the linear games that they release are priced a bit lower, simply because your linear games are shorter, maybe don't have as much replayability in them, and not a lot to tell people ki yaar, someone will say ki your game is 70, you're putting saying $70, but it's 20 hours. Last of Us wala thoda sa conversation, right? It's 13 hours, 15 hours of a game. Why do I pay $70 for it? What's in it to make it worth it? So I think maybe just to get consumers thoda sa, their own fan base. What he said is right, maybe they want to get people back to $50 kar rahe hain. Ki, hey, get back cheaper.
I hope it's that,
but, yeah, but then also I think they're sort of conditioning you to think ki linear game 50, RPG 70.
Could be, yeah. ऐसा है तो ठीक है, and I hope
Infinity free.
Mastercard.
but the next game, वो जापान वाला ज़्यादा डिस्कस नहीं किया ना. We can just talk about that. I'm very curious. मैंने थोड़ा ये डिस्कशन कन्वर्सेशन देखा था कि लाइक गोइंग टू जापान नाउ, लाइक व्हाई दे टू लेट टू इट एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. बट यार टेक्निकली देखो तो देयर लाइक 2 or 3 गेम्स नहीं, लाइक एक तो सुशीमा हो गया व्हिच वाज लाइक अ ग्रेट रिप्रेजेंटेशन उस एरिया का ना. लाइक आई मीन दे रियली कैप्चर्ड इट, बोथ द कॉम्बैट एंड द प्लेस. आई थिंक बहुत अच्छे से कैप्चर किया. एंड बट देन अगेन दैट्स नॉट लाइक सेंट्रल जापान, काफी एक लाइक अ कॉर्नर में एक आइलैंड लाइक उस.
I was going to say that like उसमें lore wise it was easier because they were of the like this subsidiary of the Japan.
Yeah. But then the other one I think is Sekiro. But you wouldn't really like uska the Japanese.
But Sekiro is not.
Not even the same themes. हाँ. लेकिन वही ना, even your exploration isn't exactly, doesn't feel like you're exploring like a very Japanese वाला वो ना. तो मुझे लग रहा है that's why I totally think like going to Japan for Assassin's Creed now, like if they can do a great job, especially with the things that they learned through Valhalla and all. I really hope and also with these games running in tandem like Mirage and Red and all, like maybe they can have the gameplay, the combat improvements from Mirage and all come into the open world games, and the storytelling, the visual styles and all, and unme se pick karke they can go back to the smaller linear games. That would be awesome. But for Japan,
keep the parkour, keep the improvements, and just keep chucking them back and forth.
Thoda. Yeah, like I'm very excited for the Japan wala telling of Assassin's Creed.
Do you guys think like जैसे अभी they've released announced all 5 games, right? So do you think it will like cannibalize each other a little bit? जैसे if you want somebody wants to play the Chinese version, so they will hold off on buying like the Baghdad
version. Free होगा ना, like या फिर चाइना वाला मोबाइल है एंड बगदाद वाला. मुझे लग रहा है if you're interested in Assassin's Creed, like even maybe ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि if you hold off for Japan वाला game and that turns out great, तो maybe you'll want to go back and hey like अभी थोड़ा टाइम लग रहा है for the next one, why not check out Baghdad वाला. I heard is shorter and it gives the same experience, shorter, tighter, तो like could work either ways. Like मुझे पता नहीं कितना मुझे लग रहा है because the experience that people want is like 2 different experiences right now and both आ रहे हैं somehow, so I think it's a good thing.
I think it's good for Assassin's Creed fans from the looks of it at the moment.
Yeah, but like one big concern that I have regarding Codename Red is what Manas said regarding that whole stealth factor and how they will be influenced by Mirage or something like that. Like a linear game से एक open world game में वो सब element कैसे लाएंगे. So the thing with that, the least that we know this is that they have dubbed Codename Red to be a shinobi fantasy. So shinobi or a ninja, right, is supposed to be a very मतलब in the shadows kind of a thing. वो open world में they have not yet done a very good stealth game. Ubisoft has not yet done a very good stealth game in an open world. So I think that is a place where they might need to take some inspiration from Mirage and bring some of those elements if people accept them and bring them to the open world, because it's not a samurai. It's not like a samurai or like a Ronin, who will go out and fight and complete. It's just a ninja, right? He's supposed to be a covert agent. He's supposed to get in, get out in the darkness of night and stuff like that. So I hope that they do something regarding that.
I think it would, if like जैसे वही वाली बात है, like if it was like a standard entry to Valhalla, then you could have like a Ronin character in place, because जैसे Valhalla में है, they're like walking the streets वगैरह और कभी-कभी हुड डाल लेते हैं,
right.
कभी-कभी हुड डाल लेते हैं, right? So but in this case, if they want to do a ninja thing, then they have to do like stealth. There is no other way of doing it. Like stealth has to be a valid option. Like it has to be the main option of gameplay.
One of the main,
for that particular game.
Throwing knives, darts, shurikens, poisoning people and watching them die like in Hitman.
खड़े हुए कर रहे थे, पिला दिया उसको poison, now waiting.
Yeah, just waiting वहाँ पे बाहर. Smoke bombs.
It's very interesting to see 2 very different studios, Assassin's Creed and IO Interactive. IO Interactive is going from like completely escalation hitman to James Bond. Okay, they are moving in the and Assassin's Creed is like, okay, no, we need to get back to the roots. हम लोग बहुत लड़ाई कर दिए, now it's stealth now, and stuff like that. It's very interesting to see that parallel there.
मैं बताऊं, IO Interactive के Hitman 3 में ना, you can have a skin where you can, I'm sure somebody should make it, like just put Daniel Craig instead of that bald guy, and it will still look like a proper James Bond mission, like pura
absolutely,
like,
absolutely,
it will look like a proper. You don't have to take that much of a leap in case of IO Interactive game designing. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
true, makes sense.
But just a parting question before we wrap this thing up. Regarding the Ubisoft Forward and regarding showing so much of Assassin's Creed, like titles. I think it was very skin deep. Like instead of showing us something good or something well, what do you think about that? Why is a company wanting to do that? And why do we really need, as gamers, do we really need to know the next 5 game kaise hone wale? What are your thoughts?
I think one of the issues was, before Ayush goes, one of the issues was that it got leaked. Information about this got leaked, which is why I think so they just came out outright and said it ki acha ye games hai hum like they were probably going to still announce it for shareholders to get more people hired in to, because these are also like ways to get more prospects to join a company, more ways to get people to invest. This was Ubisoft Forward this time was, a lot of people said it, you said it, it was a call to shareholders, right, for people to invest in it, buy it, whatever. But from their point of view, they also had their hand maybe a little bit they had to play it, because a lot of information was getting leaked beforehand. Like we knew a couple of days before that these are the code names, and on stream I was calling it out, yeah, just because it had come out, this information. So maybe if we weren't in an environment where information was leaking so easily, like back in the days when Assassin's Creed Comet, which was meant to be, I think so, Unity or Rogue, one of them, was codenamed Comet, right? That was all we had. We had maybe a bit of information, but nothing much. So if they didn't have to come out and outright and say, okay, these are the games we have. Or when the Origins trilogy, right, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla were in the makes, right, Origins was coming out. It got leaked back then also. It's going to be Egypt, it's going to be Greece, and it's going to be Rome. These are the 3 things that leaked, and they came out. But Rome didn't happen. Whatever, England happened, right? So they still didn't have enough pressure on them to leak it. But now at this stage, we are at a point ki information just keeps leaking out. Like someone or the other is talking, and information comes out so much that they have to do something about it. Rockstar had to do something about it. They had to put up a statement ki aisa kuch hua hai. Assassin's Creed came out and put this out. Anytime a studio kuch bhi information gets leaked, you will see after some time that they come out and say it ki yaar, we're working on this. So many we got just stealth announcements.
The Iron Man game.
Yeah, Iron Man game ban raha hai. Why? Pretty sure they didn't want to wait until another press conference.
Some gameplay was leaked.
Yeah, pretty sure they were scared कि कुछ leak हो जाएगा, or maybe they had a leak internally that they shut down and they quickly said कि okay, let's just put this out there.
Pivot.
Because Iron Man as a game is massive as a pop culture figure.
I agree.
To just announce it as is like, why? So I think
like as a tweet. I think I agree completely.
Maybe they were pressured.
I think they must have planned it for like a Gamescom or like a World Guild premiere that we have at the end, like Game Award reveal kind of a stuff. But they had to put out as a tweet, which is sad when you think about it. Like when you're thinking of like they want to do this, but yeah.
I think like what you said na, ये जो same sentiment I'm sure काफी journalists also have expressed कि ना like ये क्या show था, like it's like a nothing show. Then I question to them कि like this is exactly what your leaks also sound like. So how do you justify them? क्योंकि this is exactly it. And मुझे लग रहा है एक तरफ like a lot of people say ना कि games industry में बहुत secrecy वगैरह है. So this is kind of the other end of that. But I think in Ubisoft's like against Ubisoft argument ये है कि ना like they did this on like a major show जिस पे like a lot of people gathered. They could have just announced it like this was the
जैसे मानस इस केस पे कैसे like they were the show that they planned, ठीक है, 6 महीने पहले तक nobody knew कि ये 4-5 गेम है, right? And then they're planning the show, then they're putting in bits, जो भी होगा. Like if you skip the leaks, let's say the leaks didn't happen, तो वो CGI announcement were completely new to all of us ना.
मुझे लग रहा है तब भी they were too little, like not a single like 4-5
जैसे like we had like Cyberpunk and we had like Watch Dogs released the same way, like Witcher 3 they were announced the same way, and those games were at that time like 6 years off or 4 years off or 3. In case of Watch Dogs, they were like 3 years off, right? CGI pehle release hoti, right? Like the Watch Dogs, like to be fair, that Watch Dogs was gameplay, like the first time it was released.
Yeah.
So
And even
but,
Watch Dogs 2, I remember, uska bhi jab trailer aaya tha, it wasn't like in a big event or anything. The first trailer was like a regular reveal. So that was awesome. That was key.
Also-
It didn't demand too much attention, but it's a good looking
Just
trailer.
the Ubisoft Forward thing, it was not just Ubisoft Forward, it was also lead up. They kept saying 15 years of Assassin's Creed, we are celebrating
Yeah,
15 years, 15 years,
Hmm.
and we have great
Kya
stuff to
karenge?
show off. And Mirage ka CGI dikha diya, and then Codenames ka small snippets. So that I think that is why people were disappointed, because the lead up to it from Ubisoft themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
Lots of Assassin's
Sounds
Creed to
good.
look forward to. Mirage का
Yeah.
release
Yeah.
date है कुछ?
No, it's 2023,
Not
but no date yet.
You can pre-order it right now if you want.
Dude,
Get the
but अगर
अच्छा, और
Mirage-
ये बाकी सबका हेक्स वगैरह कुछ पता है
Nothing
कब
मतलब
आ रहा है?
अगर दिखाई नहीं
When?
रहे तो मतलब 3 years, 2 years,
X,
2-3 years later.
nahi, Red is I think so 2024. That's
Okay.
it. And Netflix show is also coming out at some point, a few time.
Mhm.
But that's it.
Interesting.
All right, I think that brings us to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give us a like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Assassin's Creed games that have been coming out. Especially, are you excited about Mirage? Are you excited about the China thing and the Japan thing and the Hex thing? Just let us know what you think about everything that Ubisoft has been doing, right? And if you want to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us on editor@gameoffiend.com, or you can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Search for Game of Fiend and we should be there. Also, please make an effort to join our Discord channel now. There's some good stuff happening down there, and get in the know. But this is Ayush signing off. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.